The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Sierra Vista Fire Department, Arizona, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 37384. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. First, let's start with a full view of the driver's side of the vehicle. Then we'll focus in on the cab section with the bumper extension emergency warning light side facing. As we move up, you'll find a marker light and also a side-facing camera on the A-pillar. Moving just above the front axle, you'll find an emergency warning light side-facing, and above that, you'll find the shoreline inlet. This is an auto-eject plug. As we move to the door handles, they're easily accessible with a gloved hand, and they are also keyed. Right next to it, you'll find grab handles for gaining entry and exit out of the vehicle. As we move at the very top section of the notch, you'll find a side-facing cab floodlight. And as we move to the rear section of the cab, you'll find an LED water tank level indicator. As we move down to the very bottom section of the rear cab, you'll find a blue DEF fill location. Lift and turn gains you access into this pan door area. As we move down to full view here of the pump panel on the driver's side, and then a full view of the driver's side body. Let's take a look at the rear of the apparatus. Then we'll move for a full view of the passenger side full length. Focus in on the cab section next. Same configuration with emergency warning lights and also a side-facing camera. Passenger side pump panel. And then passenger side body. Let's go ahead and start with the front of the vehicle. We'll start just under the front bumper where you'll find two open-ended tow hooks on the passenger and driver side. Moving up onto the face of the bumper extension, you'll find dual air horns on the passenger side. Located in the center is your electronic siren and PA speaker. Moving to the driver's side, you'll find your mechanical siren. And as we move up onto the bumper extension on the top section, there's a cutout for your front bumper load. It does have Velcro tie downs. As we move to the outer edge of the cab, you'll find a turn indicator marker light. Just inside of that location on the face of the cab are your headlights housing low and high beam headlights. High beam is located on the inside. Just up the next cluster is going to house the turn indicator and also forward-facing emergency warning light. As we move to the one-piece seamless windshield, there are 3 windshield wipers. On the outer edge, you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. As we move to the upper portion of the cab area to the brow, you'll find 5 clearance ID lights. Up onto the roof itself, you'll find at a slight angle emergency warning lights. Directly in the center is where you'll find the go light, which is electronically controlled from within inside the cab. And then as we move up onto the aerial device itself, you'll find additional tip lights. Let's take a look at some close-ups of those items that we just talked about. First, let's start with that bumper extension. Then we'll take a look inside the tubbed storage location, dry deck material, and then also a front discharge foam capable. As we move around now to the driver's space, let's start with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, electric window control, and a grab handle. In the step well, you'll find an air inlet. As we move inside the cab area, when plugged into shoreline power, the battery voltage will indicate on this device located at the base of the seat pedestal. As we move to about the right ankle of the operator when sitting, you'll find this yellow placard indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation, the VIN number, also all of the fluid capacities for each component, and also fluid type. As we move to the floorboard, you'll find a mechanical siren foot pedal. About the left knee of the operator, you'll find this panel, master battery switch. It's the silver quarter turn. Also some
Tech module and engine transmission ABS diagnostic ports are located in this area. We do have some switches, ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics indicator, and regen inhibit. Also on the far right is the display plug-in location for your maintenance team. Let's move up from this location. We'll find a set of switches in this area. First, let's start on the left side with the aerial master, aerial PTO, and also load manager. On the opposite side of the steering column is your pump shift. We have instructions from road to pump and then also instructions from pump to road. Just as a reminder, you need 2 green indicators, pump engaged and OK to pump, when exiting the cab for pump operations. Let's move to the dash area. We'll start on the left-hand side with the ignition and start switch. Also, you'll find a switch labeled EM, which stands for Emergency Master, that will engage and disengage all emergency lights with one button. Headlight switch and panel switch, which allows you to brighten and dim lights within preview of the operator. High idle indicator and OK to engage the high idle switch. As we move to the dash itself into the components, we'll find gauges. First, we'll start with water temperature, oil, def, and transmission temperature. On the right, you'll find front and rear air, volts and fuel, and then also speedometer and tachometer located in the center. Diagnostic information will display above and below the speedometer. Let's look just to the right of the steering cluster here, where you'll find at the very top your Pierce command zone, a tremendous amount of information right here at your fingertips. Please see the owner's manual for more information. This is also a touchscreen and also activation buttons. As we move down from this location, we have engine brake, settings for low, medium, and high, front wheel lock, and mirror heat. You'll also find the pull to apply your system parking brake, which is the yellow diamond. Also the Allison transmission pad, push button, digital readout with an informational note to pump and drive, and then also some safety, caution, and warning placard information right next to it. As we move down, you'll find mirror control for the flat mirror and convex mirror, both for passenger and driver side. As we move to the center console, you'll find climate control, heat, air conditioning, and defrost. As we look overhead of the operator, I would like to focus on the far left-hand side with the yellow placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 11 feet 9 inches, the length of the vehicle, 39 feet 1.5 inches, and a gross vehicle weight rating, 56,300 pounds. If you make any adjustments to your vehicle that may affect any of these, please update this placard for your operator. As we move to the right, some switches. First, let's start with Emergency Master, roof light, front warning lights, side warning lights, lower rear warning, and upper rear warning. When any switch has been activated, the green indicator will illuminate, indicating that it is actively on. Moving just to the right, driver side scene, passenger side scene, an air horn switch, and also high beam flash. Moving further to the right, we have the control module for our traffic advisor. Also, the siren control module and PA speaker system. Moving in the very center, you'll find do not move your apparatus when this light is indicating it's on. You may have a compartment or door open. As we move to the exterior, this is the Shoreline Inlet Auto Eject 20 amp plug. As we move to the bottom section, you'll find Michelin tires, Alcoa wheels, and a visual sight indicator for your front axle. In this picture, we're depicting where the DEF fill location is. It's down at the very back section of the cab on the driver's side. It's a 7.3 US gallon. It's the blue cap, which is your DEF fill location. As we move to the cab area, you'll find also a fixed-door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock, latch, window control, and also a grab handle. Moving inside, you'll find 2 rear-facing SCBA seats, and then also 2 forward-facing seats with an EMS compartment in the center roll-up compartment door. Just in front of that, lift and turn latch gains you access to your fill location for oil and transmission. As we move just inside the rear compartment, this is the forward-facing, you'll find an additional 12-volt access. As we move now to the pump panel on the driver's side, let's first start at the very top section with our crosslays. We have crosslay 1, 2, and also a 2.5 inch crosslay. These are all foam capable. Let's start with the pump panel and some warning placards. One's entanglement hazard. Because those lines coming from aloft, there's the possibility of entanglement. Also, your Husky 3 foam system specifications. And then in the red module, you'll find the Husky foam system operating system and also foam tank indicator for its level of foam in your foam system. To the right, you'll find in the gray area the master intake and master discharge gauges. In between the two of those, test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure, currently plugged, and these are for testing purposes. As we move to the left, we have some additional discharges. First, front discharge, also crosslay 1, 2, and the 2.5 inch. All 4 of these are foam capable. We will talk a little bit about the minimum operation maintenance schedule. It's this placard here in just a few moments. And then also only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment only after they've received proper training. As we move just to the right, you'll find your aerial discharge. It is the wheel valve that's pink in color. As we move down from that location, you'll find the number 2 passenger and number 1 driver 2.5, and then also large diameter discharge, which is green. You'll also find the tank fill and recirculating line at the top. As we move down from that location, water tank level indicator, and then at the very bottom, your tank to pump. As we move back up to the very top, you'll find the pump boss, which is your pressure throttle governor on the left-hand side. Just to the right of that, you'll find an audible alarm. As we move further to the right, you'll find the engine cooler. Also an informational placard regarding warning: when climbing onto the vehicle, always face the vehicle. Fire pump primer, push to prime, air prime, with an informational note. Once again, pump boss off to your left-hand side. Just beneath that, you'll find the audible alarm speaker. There is an outer bezel that it does allow you to adjust for volume. Moving to the right, you have additional switching, but also an indicator here, pump engaged, and it's okay to pump. The green indicator indicating you've properly engaged the pump from within inside the cab. Also, as we move down, you'll find a danger. The vehicle is not insulated in the ladder area, so there's an electrocution hazard. And then also a warning regarding pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. As we move down to the very bottom, you'll find all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains, and then also a 2.5 inch auxiliary inlet, locally controlled ball valve, female inlet. The American Flag Eagle Pierce logo is your large diameter pump inlet. As we move to the right, you'll find the manual pump shift with a caution information placard, and then also the main pump drain. As we move down, this is the same inlet here. It's the 2.5 inch auxiliary to your left. The Watrous placard in the center. We'll talk a little bit about that in the next set of images. Also your foam system fill and draft. And then just to the right of that location, the foam operation lever inside the pan door area. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. First, at the very top section, you'll find the foam drain for your Class A foam. Also, you'll find this yellow indicating whether you are in operational mode or in fill mode from draft. Let's move just under the bottom of the tailboard where you'll find your foam pump discharge drain and foam pump intake drain. You'll also find that the pull-out section here does fold outward for gaining more space on the running board. On the side vertical wall, you'll find fold-down steps. Let's go back to those 2 placards. First, this is the Watrous placard indicating capacity of 1,500 GPM. Next, your minimum operation maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 PSI. On the left, the associated GPM at that test pressure, and on the right, the associated RPM. We do have a governed speed of 2,050 and the 5-digit job number in the upper left-hand corner of the placard. Let's go ahead and start now with some of the compartments. We'll start first with the compartment to the rear of the pump panel area. And as we look into this compartment at the very top section, this is your battery charger. When plugged into Shoreline Power, this outlet will become active, activating the battery charger. Also, you'll find an additional outlet in the compartment. Right next to that, you'll find 12-volt access, positive and negative. As we look to the floor area, you'll find a pull-out tray, the release mechanism for this on the lower right. As we move now to the stabilizer, you'll find some warning placards information here. This is a crush injury warning because of the movement of that device. Also danger, electrocution hazard, equipment is not insulated. As we move directly over the rear axle, you'll find an additional storage compartment, adjustable shelf. Just in front of the rear axle, you'll find SCBA bottle storage locations for 2 bottles. Michelin tires and Alcoa wheels to the rear. Just to the rear of this axle, you'll find SCBA bottle storage for 2 SCBA bottles. a separate door for the ultra low sulfur diesel fill location. It is the silver cap. General view of the next compartment back, adjustable shelf and pull-out tray, and then also your access ladder to gain access to the top aerial device. Release mechanism on this at the lower right-hand side. Let's go ahead and move around now to the rear of the apparatus. But before we do that, just a side view with all compartments open so you can get a good visual. Let's start with the rear of the apparatus next. General view here, compartments are open. Let's start in the upper left-hand corner first with a warning regarding electrocution hazard. Once again, the equipment is not insulated. Also, as we look down, you'll find ladder storage and then also an additional warning regarding never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. We do have some additional information regarding tip-over hazard if you choose to short jack the vehicle. And then inside this door is going to be the driver's side stabilizer control. A protected switch here for the override switch. Also, just to the right of that is the emergency hydraulic power switch. Further to the right is the level assist switch. And at the very top section, we have a green indicator. As we move down, you'll find the driver's side stabilizer control. This is the movement inward and outward, and then also upward and downward for the driver's side stabilizer. The next section down is the rear stabilizer control. Just as a reminder, you need 4 green indicators for safe function operation. Let's move now to that aerial stabilizer hazard. This is on the back of the pan door. As we move to the top section, you're going to find some warning placards here regarding entanglement hazard, both on the passenger and driver side. This is because of those lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. At the very top, you're going to find your camera system. This is your backup camera. And just underneath that, you'll find the traffic advisor. Once again, far right, that entanglement. There is also hose that comes out from that chute on the passenger side. Let's move down into the compartment itself, where you'll find some additional warning placards. First, do not ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. And in second here, when climbing onto the apparatus, it's important to always face the apparatus while climbing onto it. As we move down to the very bottom, this is going to be all of our overrides. These are controlled for all of the stabilizer control, green indicating stabilizer, and then gray indicating aerial device. There's also some safety and warning placard information, and then also stabilizer control within the far right-hand side. Let's move down on the rear section of the apparatus. We'll identify a few more items. At the rear of the apparatus, we do have 2 open-ended tow eyes. These are rated for direct pull. Also, we have a warning regarding pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. The Pierce American Flag Eagle. This is your aerial inlet and also a pressure gauge right next to it. Once again, warning regarding crush hazard. As we look to the very top section, you'll find an inclinometer. This is for left to right or passenger to driver's side. And then also inside the pan door is where you'll find the 1.5-inch ball valve, which is the aerial drain. Let's move back up to the top section where you'll find once again a chute for the passenger side. We have a warning placard here also. As we move down, additional ladder storage and pike pole storage. As we move to the right side of the truck, we'll find the passenger side stabilizer control. We do have an emergency stop, an override, which is a protected switch, emergency hydraulic power switch, and then also level assist. We do have below that the passenger side stabilizer control, once again inward and outward and then up and down. As we move further down, you'll find the rear stabilizer control. This is simply upward or downward. Just as a reminder, for this operation, we need 4 green indicators for safe operation of the aerial device. Let's move around now to the passenger side of the vehicle. All compartment doors are in the open position. Let's start at the very rear of the apparatus and work our way forward. First, in this compartment, we have 2 adjustable shelves and then also a floor-mounted tray. The release mechanism for that floor-mounted tray is located on the very far right side. It will lock into place. As we move forward to this location, pegboard on the rear wall, also SCBA bottle storage for 4 bottles, 2 in front of and 2 in rear of the axle. As we move to the very bottom of the wheel here, you'll find Alcoa wheels once again and Michelin tires. Let's take a quick look at the SCBA bottle storage. There is a divider located inside. And then as we look to the stabilizer itself, we have additional warning placard information regarding first crush injury because of the movement, and then also danger electrocution hazard. The equipment is not insulated. Let's move now just in front of the rear axle where you'll find this warning sticker indicating extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures do exist. Please be cautious where you park your vehicle. As we move to the forward compartment, an adjustable shelf and also adjustable tray. Same thing, release mechanism located on the far right-hand side. Just underneath this is also the stabilizer pads and also wheel chocks. General view here of the side of the vehicle. On the vertical wall, you'll find additional fold-down steps for gaining access aloft. And then as we look on the pump panel itself, we do have some access panels here for gaining access behind the pump panel. You'll also find in the crosslay, same configuration, crosslay 1, 2, and the 2.5 inch. Also warning regarding entanglement hazard. We have the cab lift also located on this side, and then also discharge drains, large diameter discharge, 2.5 inch, and passenger side inlet. As we move now to the cab area, let's start first with the door panel. We've talked about this before, but affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, electric window control, and also a grab handle. As we look inside, you'll find push and on and off white or red lens lights, and then also your SETCOM wireless headset system. As we move to the front axle, you'll find Alcoa wheels, Michelin tires, and a visual sight gauge for the front axle. As we move to the side of the vehicle into the officer space, yes, once again, affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, electric window control, and a grab handle. As we move inside to the officer space, you'll find 2 push-button foot pedals located on the side for easy access. These control the mechanical siren and also electronic siren activations. As we move to the forward section of the dash, you'll find a siren brake and also air horn. Moving overhead, on and off, white or red lens push-on lights, and then also controls in the upper section. This controls the go light mounted in the very center section of the truck, which is on the front section of the brow. Also driver side scene and passenger side scene, AM/FM, CD, Bluetooth, Sirius XM radio. Let's go ahead and move now to the aerial device itself. We have a 4-section aerial device. Let's start with a little bit about the aerial pedestal. We have some warning placard information here regarding electrocution and also crush injury because of the aerial movement. General view of the pedestal, we'll start first with the intercom section with a speaker at the very top section, and then also volume control and a push to talk button. As we move downward or onto the pedal itself, we'll find in the upper left-hand corner of the pedestal the emergency stop button. It is a simple push button action. Also, we're going to find some switches for tracking, tip lights, and ladder illumination. As we move down, we have separate switches here for aerial speed, either normal or fast movement, and then also the emergency hydraulic power, that is your override. To the right is the tremendously helpful information center, digital display, touchscreen, and also action buttons below. Owner's manual for more information. Also down below you'll find the stow and deploy for the nozzle, an indicator of its position, and also your nozzle control for stream, fog, right, left, and lower and raise, and then also ladder control for extend, retract, right, left, and lower and raise. On the cover of the pedestal, we're going to find the ascendant information for the 107 waterway dry in a 35 mile an hour wind condition and waterway charged 35 mile an hour wind condition. This is your load charts. Also beneath that, you'll find the monitor nozzle position load chart. And then also we have at the very bottom some additional asterisk information, and this is in regards to freezing conditions or other conditions. You'll also find the specifications regarding your 107 ascendant ladder. We also have an additional warning and danger placards located on the cover of the pedestal area. And then at the base of the ladder, there is additional storage underneath the diamond plated area here. Let's go ahead and look to the 4-section ladder. On the base section of the ladder, you'll find an additional 14-foot attic ladder stowed, And as we move to the opposite side, you'll find an additional storage box. When we look inside the storage box, it is divided, and it also has a load limit, which is 75 pounds. There is a warning placard on this box itself. Let's move to the tip section of the ladder, where you'll find a lever allowing you to reduce the nozzle location from its tip position further back on the fly section. This should be done when the ladder is in a stowed position. This is the mechanism that allows you to either select fully out at the tip or partially back on the fly section. Here's a close-up of that we're just talking about. Also, we do have a warning regarding crush injury hazard. And then also in this area are the controls for your nozzle, either stream or fog, right, left, or raise and lower. Also, your intercom system here does have volume control. It is passive. Once again, 107 is the aerial length. Let's move now to the dunnage area of your device. We have additional storage here, and then also the top fill location for your water tank, and then also for your foam tank A. Just as a note, I would like to point out on foam tank A, we do have a warning regarding do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. This is the Husky foam system. There is a fill location on the very top for the hydraulic oil. Also, as we move to the dunnage, just in front of you'll find the crosslays. Moving now forward to this location to the cab area, where you'll find some warning placards. This is a non-walking surface, and that's why we have these plaques located on each side of the passenger and driver side. A couple images here with the ladder in the setup position. 3 stabilizers are down. The next set of images are that of the cab tilted, aerial device up, and then also you'll find images here of the chassis under section and also engine. These are just for your awareness. Congratulations, Sierra Vista Fire Department, Arizona, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 37384. If you have any questions about your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.